Welcome to the Talltale Tavern, the monthly one-shot adventure TTRPG podcast. I am your tavern master and host, Kyle, and we are here for our very first Talltale Tavern campaign. A story of stories that will take place between the pages of many tales told right here in the tavern. Joining me at the bar tonight, still riding a dice binge, shopping high, and looking forward to sharing all her new loot at the next Diceaholics Anonymous meeting, it's Becca. Welcome, Becca.
Thank you so much. I'm very excited to be here.
I love the plug for our Discord where we do have a Diceaholics Anonymous group that is totally for preventing dice buying, right?
Yes. Yep. So recovery. Prevention. We're very, very proactive.
Also joining us, a recovering show choir kid, a current school psychologist, and aspiring magical girl. It's Brooke. Welcome, Brooke.
Hello.
And last but not least, he didn't remember to send me an intro because he is a dipshit idiot, and I have been waiting for this opportunity to mock him and let him know I hate him. Scott Esmond. Welcome, Scott.
I'm sorry, Kyle. Gosh. Just one mistake, and that's all.
Too far.
Yeah, talk about vicious mockery. Dang.
These three will be our main players for the campaign, but you can expect plenty of surprise guests playing characters you know and love. But before I say too much, let's begin our 16th adventure for the podcast. Let's go to the tavern. In the heart of the Sword Coast of Faerun, in the small town of Daggerford, along a busy downtown street squeezed between the shops of a tailor and a florist, like an old dusty book forgotten amidst the others on the shelf, rests the Talltale Tavern. A place of truth and of lies, grab a drink of any size and listen to the wisdom of the wise in this place where the ink never dries. This is where we find ourselves tonight, sitting around a worn wooden table with the smell of books and brandy in the air. The front door opens like the turning of a page, and in walks 3 members of the Talltale Tavern Book Club. A half-troll, a Harengon, and a fire Genasi. The half-troll places a loaf of fresh cinnamon bread on the countertop on his way to their table, and the bartender smiles. It's early afternoon in the tavern, and the bartender is just setting up for the evening rush. Many patrons know the history of the tavern, that stories told within these walls are somewhat sacred, that the moment that they are finished being told, they are magically formed into books that line the walls of this cozy library of a tavern. A few other patrons shuffle in, order their drinks and find a seat, hoping for someone to tell a tale. You see, it's not every day that someone tells a story in the tavern, but if someone does, you don't want to be late. Luckily, today there is a storyteller, a young woman with a hat made of leaves who tells a grand story of old adventurers searching for the fountain of youth. As she finishes her story, the words form a book in the tavern, and it finds its place on the bookshelf on the wall. She takes a bow, then heads out the door. At a table marked with a small sign that reads, "Reserved for the Talltale Tavern Book Club," an older human lady with her gray hair pulled back in a bun addresses the group sitting around the table.
"Oh, another great story. My, oh my, it's so great to see all of your faces again. Shall we begin?"
And thus begins a new campaign, Expedition Untold! Roll the intro! You 3 sit at a table marked for the book club, along with Martha Lindfell, the facilitator of the book club, and Mr. Eleanor, a middle-aged elf member of the club. Martha is wearing burgundy autumn colors, a dress, and has a crocheted cardigan on with a crocheted little leaf adornment. She continues to speak.
"I know we all had a busy summer and decided to take a month off, but I really missed having this to look forward to. I suppose since we don't have a book to review, we should go ahead and pick our next book we should read. The last book we all read was chosen by Mr. Eleanor."
She brings out a thick, plain-looking book and sets it on the table.
The Carpenter's Wife, a compendium of stories of carpentry from the perspectives of the carpenter's wives and husbands. And you all recall that this book had been the most boring book that you have ever read. You were all nice and cordial about it when you reviewed it last month, but overall, after reading this book, you definitely needed a break. Mr. Eleanor is a middle-aged elf man with a thin face, large brown bushy eyebrows, and thin glasses that rest low on his long nose. He nods his head and speaks up. Yes, a wonderful collection of stories. I was going to suggest this month we read the sequel. And he brings out an equally, if not larger book titled The Carpenter's Children, a compendium of stories of carpentry from the perspectives of the carpenter's children. Perhaps since you picked our last book, Mr. Eleanor, we let one of the other members choose the book this month? Mr. Eleanor takes the book off the table with a dissatisfied look on his face. Okay, now, does anyone else have an idea for the book that we should read this month? And she looks to you three, and everyone roll initiative!
Now we're talking.
The most intense initiative of
I
all
know.
time. Who's going first for the book club?
You got a 4.
Okay.
Starting strong.
M'tiro got a 10.
Good. Okay, I got a 7.
Wow.
You guys are all very
expect to
timid.
win.
Nobody wants to speak up first.
Awkward silence for a few seconds.
Yes, awkward silence for a few seconds, and then
I think we all fell asleep for a second just thinking about the carpentry sequel book, you know?
Yeah, that
Like, it
that
was
author knows a lot of words, so...
M'tiro, you feel led to speak first. Okay. Yeah, go ahead and describe your character, Scott.
Yeah. M'tiro stands up. He's wearing, he is your classic bard. I mean, he's fairly well dressed. He's got a nice pair of fine white leather gloves that he's wearing. He has skin that is an ashen color, and around his eyes, his mouth, his hands, anywhere that has cracks sort of glows like the fires that are glowing left at the bottom of, like, you know, a fire pit, the embers left at the bottom. Shoulder length kind of messy hair, but pulled back. And it's like when it gets too long, like when a strand gets too long, it almost like breaks away, burns away. He doesn't get haircuts. His hair just kind of self-regulates with the fire.
Perfect.
He stands up, I guess, and he says, Hugh, Namby, other 2 members who Scott can't remember their names. This month, I am proposing we read what promises to be the most thrilling tale of our times, The 1,000 Tombs of Ramsey. Long ago, a great, powerful, benevolent genie king ruled over a prospering land for 1,000 generations. Though he cared for his people, it was not until he met a beautiful elf woman that outshined the stars themselves that he knew love. He made her his queen, but though his powers were vast, he could not grant her immortality. And when she passed, his grief was so great that he chose to die as well. He shattered his lamp and hid its pieces in a labyrinth of tombs, releasing him from his tether to the mortal plane. And now is where the story begins, as the hero of the novel, a young archaeologist Genasi woman, sets off with her team of intrepid explorers to search the ancient tombs for the pieces of Ramses' lamp. For the legends say, any that can survive the perils of his pit of despair and reassemble the genie's lamp will revive the great king, who will grant one wish before returning to his self-imposed grave. It's a story of great love and its power, Hugh, and of self-discovery and perseverance in the face of impossible odds, Namby. What say you?
Let's read that one.
You see the tavern,
good.
like, yeah, like other people in the tavern, like, are listening. It's like dead quiet, and they're like wondering, are you about to like go into the story? They think that maybe this is gonna be another story for the tavern. Everybody is like looking and watching and like
I wave to them all with a flourish and I sit back down.
Wow.
As you sit down, you all start to feel a rumble as the tavern starts to shake, what feels like a mild earthquake. Silverware around the room starts rattling, drinks are shaking. It lasts for a few seconds, then stops.
Oh, okay. Well, that shaking was a bit strange. M'tiro, that sounds like a wonderful choice. I suppose we should see who else would like to propose a book?
Absolutely. I do not want to dominate the conversation. Namby, what would you like to read?
Well, I had a book picked out, but I don't know that I can. That one sounds really good. I don't know. Mine's probably not very interesting in comparison. It's called Eyes of the Beholder. It's about a cleric and a paladin, and they meet and they fall in love. I don't really know. That's all I know. I didn't really read it before. I just thought it sounded cool.
It sounds great, Namby.
Brooke, go ahead and describe your character for us.
Okay. She is a small Harengon, so a little bunny. She's pure white. Her name is Namby Pambleton, and she is very small and timid, and when she gets nervous, her little foot thumps, just kind of a nervous tick, and she loves like soft, fluffy clothing, so a lot of times she's wearing stuff that kind of just blends in with like her soft white fur. Just really small face, and then just like really big ears that are like very alert to danger at all times. So you can tell looking at her, she usually is some level of nervous.
Good. As you finish explaining your story, your foot's thumping on the ground a little bit and you try to quiet it, and then the ground starts to rumble again with more aggression this time. A few books fall off the shelf. Everyone in the room has to hold onto their table or chair for a moment, and then the shaking stops. The bartender, a bald man with a brown handlebar mustache, wearing an unbuttoned collared shirt with rolled up sleeves, puts a towel down on the bar. I'm gonna go check on something. And he leaves through the door behind the bar.
Oh, a bit of an aftershock there, I suppose. Who's next?
I can go. And Hugh stands up. Hugh is Huguenard Rockbridge. He is a half-bridge troll. He, appearance-wise, takes after his mother's side. He comes in just under 8 feet tall. And it's very important that he doesn't quite reach 8 feet because his sister River would never let him live it down, even though she cheated a little bit and used to wear heeled boots. But he is about 8 feet tall. He has green, kind of olivey colored skin and these 2 ears that kind of stick straight out from his head. He has a very muscly body, even though he doesn't really work out, it just kind of comes naturally. And he has he grows hair very easily around his body, but he tries to keep it well maintained and has like very short brown hair up top. And he just seems to always be taking up way more space than he realizes as he tries to sit in a little bit more smaller proportion furniture often. He stands up and he kind of slides a tin of cookies to the middle of the table that he brought from work and goes, "So I know we were only supposed to pick one, but I couldn't pick." And so then he picks up this like almost Santa-sized bag of books and starts taking them out and putting them on. I just visited the book lending cart, and I'm sorry, guys. There was just so many good ones on there. So here, this one is called Power Word Friendship, and it's about a group of friends who host a poetry reading night, and they save the local bookstore. And look, and then Hugh reaches to this little journal that he always keeps kind of strapped to his belt, and he pulls that out, and he starts rapidly flipping kind of towards about 3/4 of the way through, and he holds up a picture, and it's a sketch of a guy with this really warm, engaging smile, and he is presenting to a whole room of people who are just enwrapped with whatever he's saying. And he holds it up to M'tiro and goes, I read the first chapter to see if they were good, and this character reminded me of you, M'tiro. See, he's so friendly and captivating.
Huguenard, your art is beautiful, and you have truly captured my essence.
Well, so there was this other book too that I really liked. It's called A Treasure Greater Than Gold. It's about pirates on a ship, and they're in searching for treasure. But I think along the way, I don't know, I only got a chapter in, but I think they find out that their love for each other and their found family, that's more valuable than any treasure in a treasure chest. And then he pulls his journal up again and he flips a couple more pages and he holds up this sketch of a pirate woman who's kind of swinging across a pit of alligators to save her crew on the other side. Namby, this reminded me of you. She's just so brave and loyal sounding, and I know you always talk about how much you love your family, and I couldn't pick one, so it's okay. Your guys' books just sounded so good too. We could just read all of them this month.
I don't think I could ever go across a pit of alligators. That looks scary.
Namby, I believe in you. You could do anything that you put your mind to, although I understand not wanting to do that.
She just kind of blushes and doesn't say anything.
I would certainly love to read all of the books, but I don't think I'll have time to get through all of them this month, so I think we should choose one. All wonderful choices so far. I suppose I should throw my hat in the ring. I have a book I think everyone would like.
And she brings out a pretty large novel.
It's called Going with the Weave, and it is a truly wonderful story about love. It does have some verbiage and ideologies which are a bit outdated, but barring that, it is a wonderful book. Okay, should we take a vote?
Suddenly, violent shaking starts to take over the tavern. Books are flying off the shelf, glasses smashing on the floor. Get onto the tables, Mr. Eleanor yells as he dives toward a nearby table. Martha is running toward the door. You three crawl under the table and look at each other. And you look down and see between the floorboards a red slime starts to ooze upward. The tavern lurches to the left and then to the right. You hear wooden columns and trusses of the tavern crack loudly. The entire tavern starts to move downward as if sinking into the ground, pulled by the red slime. The table crashes down on top of you, and everything goes black. You wake up with a splitting headache. You feel a rumble on the cold stone floor and hear muffled sounds of various booms and shrieks. The smell of sulfur hits your nose. You open your eyes and see that you're in an extremely large cavern with a massive shard in the middle erupting from the ground. Remains from the tavern surround you on the floor. The shard's appearance is like a large, crystal-clear, uncut diamond that seems to contain an ever-changing landscape of space and time within it. Standing in front of the shard is the bartender, in a defensive stance with pages whirling around him. In front of him is a gargantuan mass of red slime. In the slime, you see visages of skulls, faces, and bodies coming in and out of focus. The slime raises multiple pseudopods and strikes the bartender, hitting the pages that swirl around him. With each hit, your hearing comes back to full volume. The bartender throws a flat hand forward, and a stream of pages slice into the slime, creating a large gash that quickly reforms. He looks over to you three, and his eyes go wide. The mass of slime in between you and him undulates, and a thin line of slime trails along the ground toward you, snaking between rocks. It stops right in front of you, and up from it rises a vaguely humanoid shape made of dark red slime. One of the arms elongates like a pseudopod and winds up to strike, and everyone roll initiative.
I'm gonna use my other die because I want to roll well this time.
Yeah. Hugh got a dirty 20.
M'tiro got a 14.
Namby also got a dirty 20.
Okay.
Way to
You
go.
wanna roll off?
Yeah. I'm going to use the die you bought me, too.
First roll is always a roll off. It happens every single initiative, I think, in this
Love it.
entire podcast.
Oh, I just got a
There's
a
3
6.
of you.
Oh, well, I got a nat 20.
Nice! Don't waste those.
Well, I already did.
Why'd you have to tie her and make her waste it, Becca?
I'm sorry.
Becca.
Okay. So Namby goes first. Mm-hmm. Then Hugh. Then M'tiro. Okay. So Namby, you're up first. This slime humanoid is standing in front of you, elongating a pseudopod that you saw just hit at the bartender, and it looks like it's going to strike at you three. It is 5 feet from all of you.
I am going to. She's nervous. She's going to use. Let's just go guiding bolt on it. Just like, it's just cast some magic at it. Let's do that at a second level because she's freaked out. It is.
So that'll be.
Would I be at disadvantage?
Feet, so that would be a disadvantage.
Oh, he's like right on me. Okay.
Right in front of you guys.
Okay. Sorry then. Is it did you say it was a humanoid shape?
Yeah. It's like it's got like imagine just a massive slime rising up from the ground. It doesn't really have legs, but it has like a little like head appendage at the top and like these like slimy arms.
Okay.
And it's got the like visages of like human skulls like floating in the middle of it.
Ugh. Okay. Would I be able to use a hold person on it? Is it that humanoid or is it more just a blob looking like a human?
You could try.
All right, she'll give it a try. Why not? She's like, I don't know what to do. Hold person. So it would have to make a wisdom save. And my DC is 15.
It rolled a 20.
Okay, well, it is not held. Then she just goes, ah! And she will use her rabbit hop feature to bonus action jump 15 feet without receiving opportunity attacks. And not like run completely away, but like just kind of move herself away so she can use her ranged stuff.
Okay, cool. Anything else for your turn?
That's it.
Hugh, you're up.
So it's just me and M'tiro that are now in melee with this? Is that the lay of the land?
Correct.
And then where's the tavern keeper? How far away are they?
So you see the
across the
you
way,
see the
I guess.
bartender is 45 feet away from you, and he is standing. It's sort of at a little bit of an angle, but you can see him. You can see this, huge, massive slime next to him.
Okay.
Engaged in combat with each other, and then behind the bartender is the giant shard.
Okay. Hugh is not really the fighting type as much, so I think he kind of does like a little stutter step and originally instinctually just kind of reaches for his journal at his hip and realizes that's not going to do any good. So he then kind of fumbles with the large warhammer that's made out of bone that is always strapped to his hip, but he never usually touches. And he kind of awkwardly takes it out, and he is going to take 2 swings at the creature, the ooze, in front of him. That's a nat 20 on one attack and a 19 on the second.
Okay, good.
On the dice. So that, what does it even become with him? So it becomes a 27 to hit and a 26 to hit.
They will both hit.
Hey, that's a solid start. So he's going to take 36 bludgeoning damage, and then I'm going to use my crusher feat to push it back 5 feet in case M'tiro would like to get out of there without taking an opportunity attack. Yeah, and I think that's all I'm going to do on my turn. And I'm kind of just going to square up a little bit to kind of block where Namby went and where hopefully M'tiro will be able to get behind me a little bit.
Excellent. Yes, you swing your warhammer twice into this slime. What does your warhammer look like?
So it is made out of the bone of a very large beast that my sister River killed as part of her initiation into the Bone Guard. So basically, like, the handle itself is some huge femur, and then there is attached to the end. It's allowed to kind of like flare out by the carving, and then little pieces of like kind of like spikes that have been carved out of the to make it like hit with some extra oomph on there.
Awesome. You swing and do 36 points of damage with those 2 hits, and just like slime kind of like bashes away from this thing, and then it just seems to reform. It's like that trail of slime that you saw come to this thing, like refills it up, and it looks just as strong as it did after you hit it twice with those great hits. M'tiro, you're up. It is now 10 feet away from you.
10 feet away from me, and Hugh's in front of me and it. M'tiro is going to put his hand on Hugh's back and just be like, I always knew you had the bravery and the strength to fight inside of you, Hugh. And he's going to cast heroism on Hugh. So every at the beginning of each of you're immune to being frightened, and then at the beginning of each of your turns, you gain temporary hit points, 4 temporary hit points. So you'll just keep gaining that, I guess.
So I have 4 right now?
Yeah. Yep.
At the start of each turn, right?
Start of each of your turns, you'll gain 4.
Oh, okay, so I don't have them
yet. You'll just keep gaining them as long as I keep the spell up, and then I'm gonna back up. But as I'm backing up, I'll look at Namby and I'll be like, Namby, I know initially things didn't work out, and this is not what we planned for today. But I want you to know that you are brave, you are powerful, you can do anything you put your mind to. And I cast Bardic Inspiration to you in that moment.
Great.
Yeah. What is that? A 6 or an 8?
D8.
8, perfect.
And it will also, because I'm a College of Creation bard, a mote of potential, which is just going to look like a spectral stick, basically, is going to start floating around you in this moment, which will react when you use the Bardic Inspiration.
Cool.
And I'm going to get the fuck away.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
The slime in front of you, Hugh, is going to strike at you with its pseudopods. Yeah, its first throw is a 14 to hit.
Miss.
Misses its first. Second one is a 21 to hit.
Hit.
And so you get hit by this pseudopod, and you take 19 points of bludgeoning damage.
Okay, so that takes away my temp HP, and then it's going to go down 15.
As it hits you, you feel the psychic force hit your mind. You take 14 points of psychic damage as well.
Okie dokie. Oh-ho.
Up at the front near the shard, you see the slime mass fighting the bartender. The bartender looks like he's going to try and get to you. He tries to run. The mass swipes at it with pseudopods. He's unable to really get past as he takes a couple hits from the pseudopod. That seem to just like hit a shield. It's like these pages around him are like acting like a shield, blocking some of these hits from this giant slime. And we are back at the top at Namby. Okay.
Feeling inspired by M'tiro, Namby's like, okay, I gotta do something. And she will activate her emboldening bond, which is a peace cleric, peace domain cleric thing, where she gets to choose 3 creatures within 30 feet, and then as long as those creatures are within 30 feet of any of the other, they get to add a d4 to an attack, a save, or a ability check. So it's basically like bless, sort of, but you only get 1 per turn.
Okay.
So am I within 30 feet of the bartender?
You are not within 30 feet of him.
Is it possible to be like within 30 feet of them all?
You would have to move past the slime humanoid to get in range of the bartender at this point.
Well, unfortunately, then I will just do the 3 of us. So we all have an emboldened bond.
Okay, so say that again. What do we get from that now?
So during your turn, you can use once a D4 on either an attack, an ability check, or a saving throw.
Okay.
As long as you're within 30 feet of me or M'tiro. And I think that's. Oh, I guess I could bonus action spiritual weapon. So I'll do that.
Cool. What does your spiritual weapon look like as you cast it?
So if any Kingdom Hearts fans out there, it looks like a Keyblade kind of, where like the part that you hold, I'm not good at swords. The part that you hold around it looks like a beaming sun, like Rapunzel, the sun with like the wavy little like sun streaks coming off of it, and then it's just like a bright gold, and it almost looks like it's like emitting sunlight a little bit. It does. That's just for flavor. It's fine.
Okay, cool. So when you do that as a bonus action, you get to make an attack with it.
Oh, right. Yeah. I forgot I got to attack when I summoned it. So yeah. Okay.
And are you, what target are you attacking?
I'll go for the one near us just to give us more range. Hopefully we can like get out of there. So that is a 23 to hit.
That will hit.
Okay. And then it is a D8 plus my spellcasting modifier. So that will be 8 force damage.
And that is a concentration spell, I think.
No, it is
weapon?
actually not. In
nice.
the 5e rules, it is not concentration.
Cool. Anything else for your turn?
That's it.
All right, Hugh, you are up. The slime monster is about 10 feet from you. Well, actually, no, it moved up. It's right in front of you because it attacked you.
Okay. So Hugh was very injured on that last attack. And as kind of the blood runs down his arm from the wounds onto the Bone Crusher Warhammer, just absentmindedly, he accidentally swipes it against the journal on his hip. And for a second, nothing happens. And then there's just this black liquid ink that runs and pours out of the journal and slithers across the floor and then forms up into a humanoid shape, which I'm going to roll to see what actually it forms. So Hugh is an Echo Knight fighter, and I'm going to do a shout out to the Discord for helping me put together an entire table of every player character on Talltale Tavern. And now I'm going to roll to see which one manifests
awesome. That's fun.
with my ink from my Echo Knight. Okay. So that is going to be...
Who is it,
guys?
It's her own character. It's going to be...
Oh
Weird,
my
it's
gosh,
only
that would be
rolling
so
Becca's
funny.
characters.
Right? I'd be like, yeah, I know it. Okay, well, so the ink forms into a puddle and then starts moving up, and it forms these like really kind of short, stubby legs with a long coat. But then like the body just keeps going, and the coat keeps going, and there's another small humanoid shape on it, and as the ink forms, we see two goblins stacked on top of each other in a trench coat.
What a
I can't
roll.
believe we were first.
That is such a cool concept for Echo Knight, and what a roll.
Thank you. I rolled
So cool.
Gobson. I rolled Brooke. So Gobson and Hobson form in front of us. It's a little clearer on the Gobson side because I did roll him. And he is standing. I'm going to position him.
Such
do I want
well-defined legs, but the head, not so much.
So muscly. I'm going to position the Echo just on the other side of the plasmoid. Nothing too fancy.
Okay.
And then Hugh starts to kind of freak out a little, has no idea what that ink thing is that just formed, but he's going to flail and go with 2 attacks against the plasmoid in front of him. So that's going to be a 25 to hit and then a 21 to hit.
Yes, they both hit.
Okay, so that's going to be 22 bludgeoning damage from Hugh, and then I am going to use my feature, or the Echoes feature, that is called Unleash Incarnation. And so the Gobson is going to lash out with a psychic blade and attack with an extra attack with part of this feature. And Gobson gets a nat 20.
Good. Amazing.
14 plus that. So Gobson does 21 bludgeoning damage.
Wow. Dang.
Yeah, and
You and your
that's my
Echo are
turn.
surrounding this slime humanoid and just hacking away at it with your attacks. You hit the warhammer right in its face, and it like splashes off its entire like head, like splashes out. And as you hit it those 3 times. Again, it just like swells. It's like it's getting fueled from the main mass of slime. Like it just refuels, and it's like the same size. Looks about the same as the beginning of your turn. Anything else for your turn?
Yeah, I am going to use that Crusher feat again and shove it back 5 feet away from me. And then I'm going to take my movement, and I am going to follow my friends because I feel like this is a losing situation. We're not going to make progress. And I am going to move my full 30 feet away towards M'tiro and Namby.
Oh, I was going to ask how the movement works with the Echo Knight. Is it going to be next to the?
Yep, it stays there.
The
Yep.
slime
So
platform?
basically,
Okay.
if the slime tries to follow me, the Echo will get an opportunity attack.
Cool.
Or I will through the Echo is how it works.
Very cool.
Did my spiritual weapon seem to have the same kind of like it just got regenerated from that?
Yes, yeah, it sliced through, and your sword had like stuck through it and came out, and it was like slime kind of moved off of it, and it displaced some of the slime, came back, and slime kind of reformed that hole.
Does it seem like it's doing damage and then it's just regenerating, or is it just seeming like it's not really, like it's...
You can see it that like there is slime that is kind of splashed on the ground, so it is losing. You would think that at this point you think, okay, it's losing mass, but it's getting fueled by this massive pool essentially, and so you think you're doing some pretty good damage to this slime. It just keeps reforming, but it doesn't seem like healing. It seems like it's, taking resource to, refuel this form.
Okay.
Okay, cool. M'tiro.
All right. Seeing that it looks like we're kind of fighting a losing battle to hurt this thing, M'tiro's gonna look at the humanoid slime in front of him. Fire will start to like form in his eyes, and then he's gonna open his mouth and smoke's gonna come out as he casts Dissonant Whispers at it, and he's saying, "You pathetic pustule, leave us now." And he has to make a wisdom saving throw. Or take 3d6 damage and then take its action to move away from us, or its reaction to move away from us. If it fails the wisdom saving throw
Roll a 10 on its wisdom saving.
It failed its saving throw then, Kyle.
Cool.
And, that's not bad. It will take 13 psychic damage as well from that.
Okay.
And then bonus action, I'll look to Hugh and I said, "Even though you retreated, you held strong in the face of a great adversary, and you should take pride in that," and give Hugh a bardic inspiration as well.
Cool. Which die is that for you?
D8.
So that it has to use its movement to leave the space.
Yes, it must immediately use its reaction, if available, to move as far as its speed allows away from me.
Okay.
So does the Echo then get an opportunity attack since it's moving away?
No, because this is not by its own will, right? So.
Okay.
I think that's correct, yeah.
Yeah. So you do that damage, and it like shimmers and like undulates. This slime does, and it shrinks down, and you can see that the trail, it is now going back into the main mass of slime next to the bartender.
Okay.
And you step back and look, and you kind of look behind you to see kind of what the exits are. You see pieces of the tavern around you. You see like a broken table, piece of the bar. You don't see anybody else around you guys. It seems, there's not, you don't see Martha or Mr. Eleanor. But it looks like the tavern is up against the rock surface of this cavern. You don't immediately see an exit behind you or a way out.
We can't see, we're in a cavern, there's nothing above us or any way to climb out of any sort of hole. We're not in the sorcerer's hole. We can't find our way out that way.
So
those are two different things, I think. Or two different questions, I think.
Yeah, you're right. Sorry.
You all have been present for the stories of the Talltale Tavern, and you remember the Sorcerer's Appendix story, and remember the Shard of Reality story, and immediately pretty much recognize that you are in that cavern from the moment that you were in it. Your imaginations have gone wild listening to these stories and feel like you can picture exactly that this is that location from that story. And so you look up and see that this cavern is pretty much sealed. You do remember that there was a way into this cavern from one direction. Just by glancing, it's hard to tell. There's a lot of things flying around this room. It's hard to see where that tunnel was that led into this cavern. The slime plasmoid that was in front of you is no longer in front of you. It's reconstituted into the main mass of slime. And you see the main mass of slime sends out another tendril toward you. And this tendril is able to reach all the way to you and starts to form another plasmoid form. This plasmoid form starts to rise and swell larger and larger. Soon you realize that it's not trying to reform just a plasmoid, it is trying to reform its entire body. And soon the entire mass of slime, this gargantuan size mass, is right in front of you and towering over you like a wave and crashes down on all three of you. I need all of you to make a dexterity saving throw. In order to avoid this, you are going to need a natural 20 on the die.
Okay. Don't forget, you guys both.
I have Bardic, and then I have that other thing.
So Bardic Inspiration can't help with this then if we need a nat 20 on the die to
correct
get it. Okay.
Oh, okay. So it's a nat 20 or nothing, right? Basically like a luck check.
Yes.
Here it is. Fuck.
15.
Unlucky 13.
I got a nat 20.
Namby.
Good Namby.
Namby.
Her quick little rabbit feet.
They are lucky.
As this slime crashes down, Namby, your ears, flicker, and you can catch this right as it's happening, and you leap, you do a rabbit hop leap away, and are able to avoid this giant wave crashing onto your friends. As the slime covers you, Hugh and M'tiro, you feel an overwhelming force penetrate your mind and begin to read your memories. Hugh, as the slime hits your mind, you find yourself floating down a river of your memories, each of them flowing by you on the bank. A memory forms. You see yourself as a very young child sitting on the bank of your favorite spot on the river, cackling loudly as your older sister acts out a story about a brave knight rescuing a puppy from an evil witch. Her expressions are wild, and your younger self can't stop laughing. The river flows, and a house appears. You see yourself a bit older now, but still a kid. You see your family moving into your new cramped home in Daggerford. Your troll mother and human father clearly trying their best to make space comfortable for your oversized family. Outside, you see neighbors peering at you with judgmental eyes. You don't understand at this age, but your mother starts to look upset and angry, but your father calms her down. The river flows. You're 15 now, sitting on the bank of the river again, throwing peanuts into the water and watching them make ripples. You're heartbroken. A girl in your class refused to go to the dance with you because her father wouldn't like it. Your sister sneaks up on you and surprises you, making you laugh. She sees you've been drawing in a notebook and tells you to, hey, draw this, and starts to tell an enthusiastic story, putting a smile on your face. The river flows. You're 18 now. There's a knock on the front door. You haven't seen your sister in 2 years. You jump up to answer it. It's an orc in uniform. He has a solemn look on his face. In his hands, he holds a cloth which he unwraps, revealing Bone Crusher, your sister's warhammer. M'tiro, you're walking down the streets of Kalimport, where you grew up. Your memories being presented in storefronts, tents, and stalls on either side of a busy market. You stop at a stall where you see yourself as a young boy, telling a story to a group of kids about how your genie father took you to the top of a mountain and defeated a dragon right before your eyes. The kids don't seem to be buying it. If your dad's so cool, why haven't we met him before? He's on his way right now to pick me up and take me home or on another adventure. The kids walk away with their parents. You turn the other direction, alone, holding your head low as you walk down the street. On the streets of your mind, you walk by a makeshift storefront. You see your small childhood one-room home, your human mother reading you a story she traded for in the market. She's reading you the story, and with excitement, you try to turn the page, but your flames flare, catching the book on fire. Your mother smiles as she pats out the flames, encouraging you that she loves how much you love stories. On the streets of your mind, you walk by a tent. You're fast asleep, dreaming that your father is telling you how great your stories are. In your dreams, he gives you a phoenix quill, so you would always have a tool to write your tales. You wake up with the phoenix quill underneath your pillow. On the streets of your mind, you walk by a solid storefront and peek through the window. This one you know well. You're standing in front of a bookshelf, tall and wide, filled with books, set ablaze by your flame. As it burns, tears sizzle in your eyelids as you think about your mother, her strange illness coming back again, this time claiming her life. As you two relive your memories, you feel the presence of the slime with you as well, watching your every memory, studying it, and knowing it. You feel deeply invaded, the most exposed you have ever felt in your entire life. You two make a wisdom saving throw.
Can I use my bardic?
You can, it's a saving throw.
All right. You gain, when you use it, the mote of potential that is also circling around you, the stick starts to spark and burst into flames and fade away, but you gain more temporary hit points equal to the number rolled on the bardic inspiration +4.
Oh, cool. Well, I rolled a 1.
A 1.
So I gain 1 HP +4, evidently.
So 5. That's good.
It's good. Okay. Hugh got a 21.
Okay.
M'tiro got a 19.
You both save from this penetrating presence of this being knowing your every memory, but you're still going to take some damage. You'll be taking half of 44 damage of psychic damage. So 22 damage each.
Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
That is, you would have taken that damage. But just as the psychic pressure becomes too much, your memory is sliced through and the connection between you and the slime is lost. Standing in front of you is the bartender, fending off the slime. He yells out in pain, taking all the damage you would have, and falls down to one knee. He looks up to you with weary eyes. The massive slime behind him reconstitutes its mass to be next to the shard of reality and touches it. The massive shard starts to corrupt. Like blood flowing into water, the redness starts to infect the shard. In front of the bartender, 6 slime figures rise up. Namby, you're up.
Okay.
No pressure. You got this, Namby.
Don't fuck this up.
Yeah. Okay. So are my friends like on the ground, like prone? Like, what's the deal with that?
They're still standing there. So you watched as this slime crashed down upon them, and the bartender sprinted from the other edge of the cavern and leapt in the middle with an arm like karate chop motion. The pages swirled around and sliced through the massive slime, and he was able to spread it out from them too.
Yeah.
And then the effect that was affecting them, you just saw this force press down on the bartender as he went down to one knee and just yelled out in psychic pain.
He's not, like, unconscious. He's not down.
No, he's not down. He doesn't look good.
Okay, I am going to channel divinity. Well, I guess they're all, like, close to me, right?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. I will channel divinity Balm of Peace, which is another peace cleric action. So I get movement without opportunity attacks if that matters. But if I move within 5 feet of anybody, they get 2d6 plus 4 hit points restored. So I'm just going to kind of take my movement and try and pass by any of them. I don't think M'tiro's taken damage, but definitely...
Thanks to the bartender, no. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to go by, definitely make sure I walk by Hugh and the bartender so that they can get some hit points back. So yeah, 2d6 plus 4. I don't know. Do you want me to roll that and then they just get the same amount each?
Sure.
Or...
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. Well, it didn't roll great. So 9. They both get 9 hit points back.
Okay, cool. I just imagine you like hopping in and ducking in and like.
Yeah.
It's like a touch spell, so you're like. Well, I
just have to be
back.
within 5 feet of them, but yeah. So let's just say she's like just tapping everybody.
Jumping
and
through legs and like.
Yeah.
Like,
she's very mobile.
making sure
spiritual...
the shirt's all buttoned up and
Yes.
everything, and yeah, that's what I'm imagining.
And then if my spiritual weapon is still within, like, if it can move and still be within range, it's gonna take an attack.
Okay.
If it can. So that's another 23 to hit.
That hits.
So that is 11 force damage.
Okay, and you're going to be targeting one of the. There are now 6 these plasmoid slimes standing in front of the bartender.
Yeah, just trying to do. I know it might not do anything, but just trying to give him some support. She's like, "You guys look rattled. What happened?"
I was like, me, Becca, is still rattled.
Yeah, I know.
Never in my life have I not wanted a nat 20, but I'm like, man, I wish I could have heard my memories.
Your spiritual weapon slices down on an arm of the plasmoid, and then it just like reforms.
Yeah.
And Hugh, you're up.
Okay. So how far away are these 6 bodies? And where is Gobson?
Gobson is behind them. So
Okay.
Gobson, yeah, it's Hobson and Gobson, right? Like they're.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I technically rolled
They
Gobson.
don't go.
But they don't go
without
anywhere.
the
Yeah.
other.
So
Well,
Gobson's
they did
doing the
once, and
attacks,
we saw
but
how it worked out.
They did once, and we know how that ended up.
let's not make me double cry.
You are, yeah, so Hobson and Gobson standing behind the 6 plasmoid figures like he's been ignored, but he's just like, I am back here. So,
Okay.
he's behind the six figures. And then it's the 6 figures, and then it's the bartender, and then it's you 3.
Cool. All right, so I'm gonna take a beefy turn because he is very sad right now after that. Okay, so I'm gonna first take 2 swing attacks with Bone Crusher against one of the plasmoids. One's a nat 20 and one's a 17 on the dice.
That is 3 turns. You've had 3 turns and 3 nat 20s, right? That's amazing.
Yeah, I think so. Except against the emotional wrenching save.
You said you had this whole thing before we started. You had this whole thing. This is my ritual of
Yes.
doing the dice. You need to tell us the ritual right now. So we
Okay,
all can
so
do
my
it.
ritual with the dice is every time I play a session, I roll my d20 like again and again until I get like a high number, usually like 18, 19, 20, and then I stop because I've gotten the good juice flowing. And then I rest it down. I don't rest it 20 side up though because that never works for me. Well, tonight before the session, like the first time I've ever rolled these dice, basically, I went to roll it and start my ritual and I rolled a nat 20 and I was like, we're good. Just leave it be. Okay, so 7, 9, plus 14. So 23 bludgeoning damage initially. Then I'm going to have Gobson is going to attack with that action. And they are going to get a dirty 20 to hit.
Yep.
For an additional 10 bludgeoning. And then I'm going to action surge. So I will get 2 more attacks, and then Gobson's going to take another attack for 3 more attacks total. Scared, guys. So a 19 to hit and a 22 to hit.
Yes.
Oh, and then I have to do Gobson's.
You guys haven't rolled like a lower than a 19 on a hit.
Yeah,
so.
and then that's another 21 to hit.
Except for those first initiatives.
Oh, it's true. When it comes to self-confidence, we're not great, I guess. But then when it's action time.
Yeah.
What's 18 plus 21, you guys?
39.
39 bludgeoning damage for that turn. And then there was something else I was going to do. Oh, and then as my bonus action, I'm going to second wind and gain some more HP back. So I'll roll a 1d10 and then add 5 to that. Yeah. That's my turn.
Okay. Great.
I think that's all I wanted to do.
Amazing. You make those strikes with the warhammer. And what does it look like when Hobson and Gobson are attacking?
Yeah, so Hobson and Gobson used psionic blades that would like magically just shoot out of their hands. And so what I imagine with this is that Gobson's still doing the gesture and these ink blobs are just shooting forward and splatting against the plasmoid for all of this damage. So.
Okay, cool. And the Echo Knight is like you, right? Like
it's me,
like
basically,
you in 2
yeah.
places. Okay.
Yep. It's my attack feature, I should say.
Cool. As you're like hacking at these plasmoids, they are taking damage and taking more and more of the slime away from the mass, and you're starting to see it actually affecting it. It's like, like you can take a lot away from something once it starts to shrink. Okay, now we're actually like getting somewhere where it's going to lose mass maybe more rapidly. It looks like it's actually losing some mass as it's reforming these plasmoid characters.
Yeah, I think he's just
go
sorry.
ahead.
I was just saying, I just think he's just like wildly swinging kind of through the tears of those memories of seeing so much of River and just kind of wildly smashing with that hammer from her.
2 of the plasmoids are going to notice Hobson and Gobson behind you, behind them, and they're going to make, there's going to be 2 attacks. These are pseudopod attacks. The first one is a 19 to hit.
That hits. They go down and you just see this like whoosh of ink sink down into the ground because they have 1 HP.
Okay.
It's typical Hobson and Gobson.
Not again.
Great. It would have taken 17 points of bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
It
It just goes
gone.
down into the ground.
Okay. That was one of them moved forward to the
Gobson.
Echo Knight, to Gobson. The other plasmoid's going to turn and strike at the bartender, and that will be a miss. It hits. This one just completely goes wild. It doesn't even seem to get close to this, swirling pages around him that seem to be forming some sort of a little bit of a barrier there. There is a third plasmoid that is going to step forward and is going to strike at you, Hugh, and there's a 16 to hit.
Miss.
Misses. Whiffs. And that is 3 of their turns. M'tiro, you're up.
Okay. Are there any 3 of them that are like standing sort of within a line of each other? Let's say I had something that could do a 15-foot cone. Is there any way I could hit multiple of them with a 15-foot cone?
I think I'm gonna say you'll be able to hit 3 because with a cone you're gonna have to, because they're really close to the bartender. I think you'll be able to hit 3 of them, like isolate like one side, because they're all kind of in a line-ish.
Yeah.
And
if I get in the
so-
right spot so that the end of the cone is like a line on 3 of them, right? Like that's feasible. Okay.
Yeah.
Then that is what I am going. M'tiro's gonna take off his gloves. The gloves are coming off. He's fucking pissed, and
As
set
they
him down.
say.
He start rubbing his hands together, and you mutant membrane, my memories are not your plaything. And he's going to cast Burning Hands at them, which is a dexterity saving throw of 15. I'm going to cast it at 3rd level. So puts his hands like this, and fire's just going to shoot out in a cone like that at them, and they will take 5d6 fire damage on a failed save.
Okay,
Fail,
I have a 7.
Fail.
I have an 8. And a natural 20.
Okay, so
That also fails.
it just does. We've decided it just
We've just
fail.
decided. No, natural 20s are Hugh's thing, and I need you to back off.
Yeah, I've had 2.
Oh, that's true. You had them where like a super counted.
That is 14 fire damage for 2 of them and 7 for the other one, I suppose. Since I know Hugh used his bardic inspiration, I'm going to look at him again. I'm going to say, don't let that monster corrupt you with its psychic presence. Stand strong. And give another
Thank you,
bardic
M'tiro.
inspiration.
Heck yeah.
It, that fire hits them, and you can tell it sizzles some of that slime, like burns on their like front of their skin and like falls off, and then kind of reconstitutes more of this mass, so they look just as good as they did. Anything else for your turn?
Just trying to stay away from those guys so they don't hit me if I can.
Okay. You are up against the wall essentially, and there's not much. There's really not a whole lot of space to go.
That's fine then. I'll stay there near my allies then.
The 3 remaining slime plasmoids that haven't attacked yet are going to move, and they're going to stay within the like opportunity range of the bartender. But they're going to move and make an attack on each of you. So there's one that is going to go to Namby and make a pseudopod attack. That's a 17 to hit.
No,
Did you miss?
it's a miss.
Okay.
AC's 18.
Hell yeah.
The second one's going to go to Hugh. That's a 24 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
Silvery barbs, no.
Dang it. Silvery barbs.
You stay away from my friend, you disgusting monstrosity. And yeah.
Amazing. Gets distracted by that. And who gets advantage from this?
I'm gonna give advantage to Hugh, just because Hugh's really been wrecking house. Anyway.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
That is an 8 on its second. It rolled a natural 1 on that silvery barbs roll.
M'tiro, you're amazing.
Won't be
Another
for long.
slime plasmoid goes at you, M'tiro, after it heard you make that call. That is a 22 to hit.
Oh yeah, that hits.
And you are going to take 13 points of bludgeoning damage. Mm-hmm. And then you would take 11 additional points of psychic damage, but when you are within 30 feet of the bartender, you take half psychic damage. And so you take 5 points of psychic damage from that.
Okay. It's all right. Fire is still burning bright inside of me.
You see as the main mass of the slime that is over by the shard continues to infect it, and this blood effect starts to move more and more into this giant shard. You see as the slime starts to grow and grow. You had done a ton of damage to this slime, and it had been maybe half the size as it was when it started. But now it seems to be growing and almost feasting on things unknown. And you see it grow and grow and grow. And the bartender stands and looks back to all of you, and he, out of breath, I'm sorry. I'll find you. And he puts his hands together, which light up, and he opens them outward, revealing a golden light that looks like pages rapidly flipping in an open book in his hands. The light grows brighter as he casts it toward you, enveloping you in light. Everything is white. You hear the sound of birds singing. It sounds nice. Your eyes adjust to see light glinting through leaves above you. You're in a forest, coming to life at first morning light. You spread your hands out in the grass around you, and you feel the morning dew. You sit up and see each other.
What happened? And as he's saying that, feeling the dew sizzling on his fingers, M'tiro puts his gloves back on so he doesn't burn anything.
Where are we?
I do not know this place. Namby, do you?
I don't think so. What happened?
I do not know, but that abomination was infected my mind, and I think the bartender has helped us in some way, but I don't know. I don't know.
Was he that strong and magical this whole time?
If only his drinks were as strong.
I'm pretty small. I can't really do the strong drinks.
You're strong, but you're mighty. I've seen you in battle now, Namby.
You guys are way better than me. I didn't even know what was happening. Can she look around and is this referencing anything that we would have read?
Go ahead and give me a perception roll.
You're pretty bad at those, right, Namby? So.
Pretty terrible at those. Yeah, passive perception 22. It's no big deal. I didn't roll great. That's a 16.
You still have a bardic inspiration.
Oh, you know what? I'm going to use it. Oh, that's a 7. So what would that be? 23?
You can actually roll it twice to see if you get an 8, because when you do it on an ability check with my mode of potential, you get to roll it a second time.
I did not.
All
so
right.
23.
23. Amazing. You look around and see this forest around you and hear these noises. You hear like a monkey noise off in the distance. You hear a bird squawk. You see you peer with that perception through the leaves and see a trail and like a decrepit looking fence. And behind the fence, there's like a hill. It looks like almost like a small exhibit.
Oh,
and then you hear a growl. You hear a growl, and from a nearby bush, a Bengal tiger pounces at you, and everybody roll initiative.
Damn it. Can I just get a second? Can you give us a second?
Hugh got a 17.
M'tiro got a 10.
absolutely terrible. I got an 8. I have a +5.
So, Hugh, what is your passive perception?
10.
10. You are going to be surprised by this Bengal tiger, so you're going to roll initiative with disadvantage. This is going to be the new surprise rules for the 2024 rules. M'tiro, what's your passive perception?
11.
An 11. So you are going to roll with disadvantage on your initiative roll. So go ahead and roll again and give me your...
Hugh's new initiative is 15, so not horrible. You didn't get me this time, Davidson.
My initiative remains the same, but thank you for letting me know I could have had a 21.
Okay.
Namby's so perceptive, but she's like just freezing anytime she sees anything.
So you rolled an 8. Your passive perception is 22. This Bengal tiger
Yeah.
rolled a 19 on its stealth, and so it will be its turn. but even with it, poor Namby.
Yep.
Saw it first, but
Just see
so
Namby
it is going
freeze
to
in her
jump
ears.
out, and I'm going to actually roll to see who it's going to jump out at. My D3. It jumps out at Namby.
Classic. Love it.
Classic.
I mean, if I were a Bengal tiger, I would probably go for the rabbit over the
tiny
8-foot
bunny,
troll
the
and the
small-
fire person. Yeah.
Going to try and bite at you. That's a 23 to hit.
Yeah. Yep, that definitely hits.
And you are going to take a 10 piercing damage.
Okay. All right.
And it will do a claw attack as well. Yes. Okay. It does a claw attack. It swipes for 15 to hit.
No.
And misses. So it goes out, bites you. You see this tiger coming, you freeze, and it bites you and tries to claw at you and misses with its claw. Are you wearing armor?
I am.
Yeah, so it's like scratches on your armor as you are able to
Well, she
dodge
does
away a
wear
little bit.
fluffy sweaters over her armor during the day. So I guess my fluffy sweater now has a big scratch in it.
Okay.
Oh no, your sweater.
Hugh, you're up.
Okay. Seeing Namby getting mauled does not go over well with Hugh. So as my bonus action, I am going to it worked last time, so I'm going to Hugh reaches down and just rubs his kind of slightly bloody hand on the journal again. And ink, once again, for some reason, oozes out across. And I'm going to roll to see who comes this time. So this time we see it starts the shape to form as like a boy, like that it looks to be about maybe in like 5th or 6th grade. And then all of a sudden, like it kind of settles in that shape, wearing like a t-shirt and like it looks like a little like toy set of horns. And then it just bulks up all of a sudden into almost like this demon shape, and we see Corey in demon's shape from the Monster Bash form on the other side of this tiger.
If M'tiro saw him form and he was lighting his socks on fire, then he really approves.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's like the brief moment in time is Corey lighting the top of his sock on fire, and then he turns into the big. Corey, was it a demon? Is that right?
He was a horned devil.
Devil.
Yeah.
Oh, it's very insulting for devils to be called a demon.
Oh, yeah,
so okay.
Don't let them hear.
My bad. So Corey and I are going to take 2 attacks against the tiger.
Is this within a minute
Of what?
of my last turn when I gave advantage to Hugh's next attack roll if it's within a minute because of silvery barbs?
No. And you guys, as you woke up, you felt completely refreshed. You felt completely new.
Well,
you
that's
felt
good.
completely healthy, and all of your spell slots, like a long rest, have taken place.
Well, that's very nice of you. I had
But
nothing
then I
left.
took 10 damage, so I don't feel refreshed.
I would have helped you with silvery barbs if I had known beforehand, maybe.
It's okay.
Okay, so Hugh got a 18 and Corey got a 23 to hit.
Okay.
29 bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
And then I'm going to also use my crusher feet to shove it 5 feet away from Namby.
Cool.
So that she can move. And then I'm going to kind of take up that space that we just created in between Namby and the tiger.
Okay, cool. You do that damage to this Bengal tiger, and it like lurches. It looks like it's taking some good amount of damage. M'tiro, you're up.
Cool. I'd like to. So there's the tiger, then there's Hugh, then there's Namby, right? Mm-hmm. He's tired of just standing back, and he's gonna throw out his hand and shoot out a jet of fire that forms into a sword and cast Flame Blade in his hand, and just
Heck yeah.
swing at this stupid tiger that is now bothering us, and we were already going through so much in this moment. It's not the time.
Read the room, tiger.
That's such a painful roll. It literally stopped on 15, and I was gonna say it, and then it just edged over to 7. So 14 to hit.
14 does not hit, unfortunately.
Well, who has Bardic Inspiration right now, and who does not?
I used
You
mine.
used yours.
I think it has a
I have
minute,
It
right?
has 10 minute duration.
10.
10 minutes, okay.
Yeah.
But if we got a rest, though,
Yeah,
those
this
are
is
gone.
like,
That's true.
everything's
Okay.
kind of reset. So.
Well then,
Yeah.
Hugh, you're getting another one right now. Then
Pep talk me. He's still very sad.
I know that things seem incredibly dire and confusing right now, but as long as we can stay together, our fire will burn bright, Hugh.
Okay.
Woof.
Cool. Anything else for your turn?
No. Nothing else for my turn.
Namby, you're up.
Wonderful. I cast Guiding Bolt if I need to move so that I'm not directly behind Hugh. I will do that because it's a ranged spell, but I'm gonna try and attack this thing. Stay away from my friends. Oh my god. Oh my god, guys.
Oh my god.
I got a 9.
9 to hit.
Yeah, I got a 9.
Namby, I'm so sorry. You did
But
not.
you looked really cool.
You looked really cool. You looked so cool, Namby.
Okay, well, that's my
Move
turn.
back behind me, Namby.
Okay, move back behind.
Scoot on back there. Scoot.
He is going to make 2 claw attacks at Hugh. And first one is a 13 to hit.
Miss.
Second one is a 17 to hit.
That hits. That is my AC.
But does
Okay.
it though? Or is he a little distracted? Because M'tiro feels so refreshed thanks to our benevolent DM that he has the spell slots available for another silvery
Do
barb.
Great.
You oversized house cat, leave my friend alone.
Roll a natural 3.
Yay!
This time I'm giving the advantage to Namby though.
Yeah.
Needs the confidence
Namby needs
boost.
it.
Don't give it to me. I can't use it. I'm terrible.
The tiger swipes, and you hear a voice. What is this? And he swipes. Some kind of new game he plays? Hugh, you're up.
Who's he? I kind of look at my friends.
I don't know.
Wait, okay, so to clarify, was that like a voice just like in the ether?
It's from the
That was the
tiger.
tiger
Did the
talking.
tiger speak? Okay. I don't know. Maybe just knock it out.
Can I roll? Okay, so Becca knows where we are right now, 100%. Becca knew from the monkey sound.
Yeah.
Can I roll to see if Hugh figured it out by now of where, like...
If Becca knows, then Hugh knows.
Okay, cool. We're not with him. You're being hunted by that guy. We're not with him. And then I'm gonna hold up my hands. We got stuck here too, just like you.
M'tiro, Namby?
I will absolutely vouch and give any sort of help action to any sort of persuasion on this animal. We mean you no harm, my friend, if you're being hunted by that vile Claiborne Khan, something like that. I can't remember.
Yeah, we didn't like that guy. He was mean.
What? And you see the tiger changes shape into a man wearing safari gear. You recognize him immediately as Claiborne Khan.
I mean, we love Claiborne Khan. We've always been on the side of Claiborne Khan.
But not quite as you remember him from the story. As the fur goes away from his body, you see an emaciated man that stands before you. His safari gear clothing is dirty, ripped, and torn. His hair is disheveled, his thick orange mustache is dirty, and he looks overall unkempt. He opens his mouth, and one of his front teeth is missing. How do you know my name?
You're the bad guy that did all those things to those animals.
You're the vile hunter who kidnapped Toad, Katabig, that little fish monster.
Lizzie and what was it? It was a Glubble?
Glubble was the
Glubble.
name.
We heard about your story. Someone told us it at the tavern.
So you're not with him?
Who's him?
We thought you were him. Who's him?
The Grung.
You're the him.
The Grung. But the Grung is a peaceful.
What, is this a new game he plays? He sends you to kill me? Am I to kill you?
We're not killing anybody, okay?
My friend, you jumped out and attacked us. We made no predatory action toward you except in retaliation.
Toad left at the end of the story, didn't he? I thought they all left, and they left him with the T-Rex, right? After he got his jar of teeth?
And you see his tongue go up to his missing tooth in his mouth. and kind of like rub where it was. I don't know who you people are or why you are here. How did you get here? I didn't bring you, so he must have brought you.
We were sent here by a friend we were doing battle with a great monstrosity, and he transported us here as a form of protection.
He's like, does not comprehend any of that you just said.
We don't either. We don't either.
Wait, who took your tooth?
What?
Who took?
I think Toad took it.
But I just
Toad
want to make
takes
sure.
teeth.
Okay.
You seem to have bits and pieces of a story. You're not sent to kill me, though.
We mean you no harm if you mean us no harm.
Okay. And he like lowers his hands down. And he says, maybe I should inform you of the story. It seems to be a bit different than what you said.
Yeah, that's why
Things
I
are
wanted
not right here.
And he
Seems
sits
off.
down on a nearby rock and starts to tell a story. And your imagination goes wild and you start to envision the story that he tells. Everything is the same as you know it from the story until the day of the great battle. Claiborne tells the story and you picture the scene in your mind's eye. It's a hot day at the zoo, and the group has just come up with the plan to drop the T-Rex fish on top of Claiborne's lodge. Carl the Aarakocra takes off toward the lodge with the fish in hand when he fails a stealth check. A dog on the ground starts barking, and Claiborne is alerted. He knocks an arrow on his bow, fires, and snipes Carl out of the sky, his body falling to the ground. The fish falls to the ground as well, hits and transforms into the enraged T-Rex. On the lawn, the battle commences. Claiborne's giant bird fights the T-Rex as Glubble, Lizzie, Cot, and Toad fight Claiborne and his Iron Guardian construct named Ivan. The battle seems fairly even until the T-Rex lands a bite attack into the giant bird, crushing it in its powerful jaws. In the spectacle, Cot is distracted and Claiborne fires, scoring a critical hit, killing Cot, who falls to the ground with a massive thud. 500-pound tabaxi falls with a massive thud. Toad looks at his fallen friend and he's stunned for a moment. He starts to breathe heavy and his eyes become jet black. His green skin changes to a deep red. He looks at Claiborne and unleashes a fury of attacks. Glubble cries out for help as the T-Rex turns to his direction and stomps toward him. Lizzie is on the other side of the battlefield, unable to assist. Toad is close enough to help, but is blinded by rage. With his jaws, the T-Rex picks up Glubble in his power suit. Glubble screams, and it is cut to silence as the T-Rex crushes the power suit like a tin can. Lizzie, not knowing what's happening to Toad and unable to reach him, hops on her axe beak and races off in the woods with the T-Rex close behind. Toad wails on Claiborne and steals the amulet around his neck, gaining control of Ivan, the construct guardian. Claiborne, on the edge of death, puts his hands up. Fine, you've bested me. Pfft. Kill me. Take your prize. And he extends his neck. Toad, a black rage in his eyes, snarls through his sharp teeth and puts a foot on Claiborne's neck and leans in. You wanted a worthy hunt? Then that's what you'll get. He takes a dagger out and presses it into Claiborne's gums. Claiborne screams as Toad rips a front tooth out of its bloodied mouth. Back in the forest, Claiborne pauses. Every day, he hunts me. Most days, I'm able to avoid him. But the days he finds me, we fight, and I am unable to best him. And he pulls back his cheek, revealing his gums and that he has very few teeth left.
Oh, wow. Okay. I really didn't think Toad would be capable of that based on the story we read.
What happened to Lizzie?
You mentioned, some of my sins from my past earlier. You know, you were afraid that I'd be the one hunting you, and,
I don't know if I'll ever be rid of those sins. I don't seek forgiveness, but I don't think I would deserve it. Lizzie escaped. She's pulled up with some other survivors from the island. Some others that I had brought here and had not been able to hunt. Lizzie did go back to the scene of the fight to check on her compatriots. She found caught on the ground, not actually dead, but in a coma. She and some of the other survivors have taken him and have nursed him back to health, but unable to break him out of his coma. We remain in contact. We work together to try and figure out a way of defeating Toad, of leaving this place. I tend to wander out here, for I know that Toad will try to find me every day. And so I keep separate from them.
The story that you've told, it sounds, you said his skin turned red, correct?
Yes.
The monstrosity that we were fighting was a red slime monster of some sort that appeared to be a corrupting, a shard of unknown power beneath our home tavern. Maybe somehow we could, maybe it is somehow infecting him.
And so, this creature from this other world, you were transported here, you said? Like teleported here?
It appears that way.
With a book?
There's so much rage in those eyes. Every day that he finds me, I beg for mercy, and he does not give it. If something has infected him, it has infected him to his core.
Perhaps if we could all work together, if you could bring us to Lizzie, to cut the big, maybe Namby, perhaps with your cleric abilities, your healing abilities, you could help him.
If it's a curse or if it's some kind of magic spell, I could probably help, but I don't know. This seems kind of big. I don't know. I don't know. This seems like a lot.
And you guys, as you ponder it for a moment, you feel a rumble, then another rumble, then a thud. And Claiborne looks at you, he says, he's coming. Listen, I'll go left to distract him. You three wait here, hide in the bushes. I'll distract him, he'll chase me. Wait here for a bit, and then go to the desert. You go to the desert, stay together, head towards the Sphinx. That's where they're holed up. Toad does not go out there. Find Lizzie out there, and perhaps we can defeat Toad or help him, and leave this place. He's coming. And so he kind of darts off to the left.
As he's leaving, I just want to be like, let your feet carry you with the speed of the wind, my reformed friend. And I give him a bardic inspiration. Fuck it.
Great. He transforms into the tiger and runs off into the woods, and you hear the thud, and you hear him make a growl noise, and the thudding, massive creature thudding, follow him into the woods. And you are all staying there, and you hear the thuds go into the distance.
Namby, I think you're right when you said this is a lot. This is big. But think of all the stories that we've read, my friends. In every story in the beginning, the heroes have something thrust upon them that seems insurmountable, but by the end, they can achieve anything. That is us. Together we can help fix this story that we loved and help fix the tavern that is our home.
I hope so. I don't know. I don't know. I'm feeling really overwhelmed by all of this. I don't know what's happening. I work a cleric job at home. Not even the cool kind. The kind that's just you're a secretary and you do paperwork. I thought it was the other kind, but I'm a secretary. What do you like? I don't know what to do. This is a lot.
Hugh just puts one very large arm around Namby. Just kind of accidentally engulfs her a little bit.
I thank you for believing in me, M'tiro. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to live up to the stories.
The secretary is the heart of the office, and you are the heart of this team.
It's a very important job. I just thought it was a different one when I applied.
Understandable. I say, we put our best foot forward and we go toward the desert and seek Lizzie.
Yeah, I think we have to, right? I mean, what else are we gonna do? Sit around and wait for evil red Toad to take her teeth?
I will promise you I will never let somebody take your teeth.
Thank you. I won't let them take yours either.
Hey, please don't let anyone take my teeth.
Yours too, Hugh. No one's taken any teeth.
Your gigantic teeth are safe, Hugh.
In the story, the jar seemed like a normal sized jar of teeth. I don't think my teeth will fit in the jar of teeth.
Okay. I guess we're going that way.
Yeah, I guess so.
And with that, you look to the right, that direction that Claiborne had pointed you to, and you see a path that goes through the forest and turns to sand. And that is where we are going to stop this first episode of Expedition Untold.
Woo! Woo! Woo!
Thank you to all the players this week, Scott, Brooke, and Becca. Their socials can be found in the description. If you want to see the video of the episode, it'll be up on our YouTube. Follow us at Talltale Tavern Podcast on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. If you like us, give us one of those good 5-star reviews. Join our Discord too. Thank you to Tyler Adelsperger for our intro music. Thank you to Zaezar for our artwork. Recommended listening is the Zoonopia episodes of the Talltale Tavern before our next episode is out. With that, we'll see you next time at the Talltale Tavern.